I spent 31 years writing down everything doctors said, every order, every medication change, every instruction that came off that floor. I wrote it down because I knew that what doesn't get written doesn't exist. I knew that before most of those doctors finished medical school. Then I turned 81 and became the patient, and I had to learn the whole thing over again from the other side of the bed. What I'm going to tell you is not about being difficult. It's not about being angry. It's about understanding exactly what kind of problem you have and applying the right solution to it. I was a nurse for 31 years. I know the difference between a system that's failing you and a person who's failing you. They require completely different responses. Most people confuse the two. That confusion costs them their health. It started in the spring of 2019. I'd been having fatigue that wasn't ordinary tiredness. I know the difference. I've assessed it in 1,000 patients. And a shortness of breath on exertion that had no business being there at my activity level. I made an appointment with my primary care physician, a man I'd seen for 11 years. Good doctor, busy doctor. I sat in that exam room with my yellow notepad on my knee. I still carry one, the spiral kind, narrow-ruled, the same kind I used on the floor at Miami Valley. Old habit. I had written down my symptoms, onset dates, frequency, and a short differential I'd worked out myself. Not to show off, just because that's how my mind works. He looked at it for about 45 seconds. He said my age was a factor. He said fatigue was common. He said we'd check some basic labs and see. I know what we'll see means. I used to say it myself when I didn't have an answer and needed time to think. It means I'm moving on now. I drove home. I sat in my kitchen with the notepad open on the table, and I looked at what I'd written. And I made a decision that 30 years of nursing had prepared me to make, even if I'd never had to make it for myself. I did not switch doctors. Here is what I did instead. The following week I called the office and asked not for an appointment, but for a telephone review of my lab results. When the nurse called back and said everything looked normal, I asked her to read me the specific values. Not normal, the numbers. I wrote them in the notepad. Hemoglobin, ferritin, TSH, B12, all technically within range, several of them at the low end of within range. There is a significant difference between a result that is normal and a result that is at the floor of normal in an 81-year-old woman who used to walk 4 miles without effort. I knew that. Most patients don't know that, and most offices are not going to explain it. Then I did the second thing. I went to the patient portal. My granddaughter set it up for me 2 years before. I resisted it, she was right, and I downloaded every lab result I had from the past 6 years, printed them, put them in a folder behind tabs I made with the notepad's torn pages. I could see the trend. Ferritin had been dropping for 3 years, slowly but consistently. No single result was alarming. The line they made together was alarming. I called and asked for an appointment specifically to discuss the trend in my iron studies over time. I used those words exactly. Trend, iron studies, over time. I said I had the printouts organized and I'd like 15 minutes to go through them together. He saw me the following Thursday. That appointment was different. Not because he was a different person. He was the same man, same office, same 11 years between us. It was different because I had changed the frame of what we were doing. We were not an elderly patient reporting vague symptoms and a doctor deciding how seriously to take them. We were two people looking at data together. He ordered a full iron panel and a referral to a hematologist. The hematologist found iron deficiency anemia with a pattern consistent with slow gastrointestinal blood loss. The gastroenterologist found a polyp. The polyp was removed. It was precancerous. I want to sit with that for a moment. Precancerous, found in 2019. I am 88 years old, and I am sitting here talking to you. I'm not telling you this story because I'm exceptional. I'm telling you because I'm not. I'm a retired nurse from Dayton, Ohio, and I had access to the same information any patient has access to. I just knew what to do with it because I'd spent 3 decades watching what worked and what didn't. Switching doctors solves a personality problem. If your doctor is rude, condescending, or genuinely incompetent, yes, leave. But most of the time, what feels like dismissal is something quieter and more fixable. It's a framing problem. It's a communication problem. It's a data problem. A new doctor starts from 0. They don't know your baseline. They don't know what you looked like at 73. They get your file transferred and they read the summary, not the numbers. You lose continuity. In medicine, continuity is not a small thing. So before you walk out, try this. Get your numbers, not your results. Ask the office to read you the actual values. Write them down. Use a notepad if that helps. I still do, and I'm not embarrassed about it. Get your history. Download or request every lab result from the past 3 to 5 years. Most patient portals have this. If yours doesn't, request it in writing. You are legally entitled to your own records. Look for the line, not the point. A single result tells you where you are. Several results over time tell you where you're going. That is the information that matters. Change the vocabulary. Don't say, I feel tired. Say, my energy level has declined measurably over the past 18 months, and I'd like to understand the cause. You are not asking to be believed. You are opening an investigation. Bring something to show. Printed labs, a written symptom log with dates, a list of questions in order of priority. When a doctor sees organized information, the appointment changes. I watched it happen hundreds of times from the other side. I went back to see him in the fall after the polyp was removed. He asked how I was feeling. I said better. He looked at my file and said the new labs looked much improved. He paused. He said, you know you were right to push on that. I told him I knew. I said it without any edge in my voice because there was none. I wasn't angry with him. He had done what the system trained him to do, and I had done what 31 years had trained me to do, and between the two of us, we'd caught something in time. I still see him. I still bring the notepad.